Hello to all you diabolical people out there. This is Evil Number 4 coming with you in my first ever episode of anything I've ever done on the channel. And this is Tyranny. Been out for a few months. I'm sure quite a few people are familiar with the title. But I think it's a good starting spot, good place to show you exactly what I want to do with the channel, who I am. And let's just hopefully get people watching. Now then, let's start off with new game. Gonna do normal difficulty. I'm not confident enough to try the harder ones. Don't want to have too many the episodes be too boring with me struggling to make any progress at all. And we'll leave expert mode and trial of iron off just to make this easier on me. I'm not sure what expert mode disables. In Trial of Iron, well, that's basically Iron Man mode, and that kind of stuff makes it hard for editing. Okay, let's get going.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spy master and archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus. With each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tyranny, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tyranny brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Now there's the stories for you, the backstory. Let's get started. I'll go with a male character. Let's see. Now we'll go with this one, medium build. There. Looks like he's been out in the sun some. Let's see. Not too many options here, the faces. Oh, that one's good. And hair. That might work with what I want to do. Let's misclick. I honestly don't like too many of the hairs they have in this for male characters, and I don't like a lot of the female hair either. That one's a bit okay. It could just be the style I'm not too interested in. We'll go with that. And I'll do that, kind of a dirty blonde. And facial hair. Don't care much for the facial hair options either on this. Some of them are okay. they're kind of really overdone. Let's go with the goatee. And that kind of the copper or bronze there, yeah. Voice.
Moving cautiously. See that? To battle!
I need to turn the voice up on this when we get there.
This will be fun. That wasn't so
Go with aggressive and the tattoos. I actually like the tattoos they have. That one's kind of tribal-ish, almost. That one is a squid, maybe? This winged thing. A scarab beetle. Don't know why you only have one on the leg. I don't think you'll be able to really see. I like this one a lot. Kind of runic, tribal almost. I like the tree a lot. And this one is like a starburst, I guess? Or snowflake or something. Some stakes. And this one's like wind, I guess. And let's go with this one. Yeah, dark green. And this one. We'll go with a red. Yeah, red and green. And then portraits, let's see. Part of the reason I don't like the facial hair is so many of these portraits don't really have facial hair that match what you see. And it's aggravating. Well, it at least aggravates me when I don't have one that lines up. Some of these you can do pretty easily. Other ones, not so. Something like that, maybe? It almost works. We'll go with that one. Make his hair a bit darker. Get rid of the facial hair some, yeah. That's fine. Next, and then, let's see. We're going to do a war mage as the history. And you can pause and read that if you want. And that's something I like about this, is if you see something in the text, you can mouse over it and it'll give you a brief explanation. So many games have your character talk like they know something sometimes and you really don't have any idea. That's a nice little touch so you can get a little backstory about what that really is you're talking about. A little bit of a glitch there, so let's notice that. Okay, well, let's continue on. And our primarily, like I said, I've been thinking about this for a while. Our primary weapon skill is going to be dual wielding. Do I want dual wielding? Yeah, we're going to go dual wielding. It's our primary. Let's see. Do we want flurry of blows or slice? See, that one causes bleeding. This is just a double attack, it looks like. We'll go with sliced. Yeah, you can see his tattoo is good with this so far. And then next, our secondary. Now, as you saw, I went War Mage. Done got the melee required for that. Now I'm thinking we go for our secondary. Now I've thought about it, and I could go with a number of different things, but Anthropy from what I saw, is real hard to get the rune for this if you don't pick it up now. And it kind of works. We debuff our enemies some while we go in and knock their heads around. We could also maybe go shock. Shock, we go frost. Vigor. We'll go entropy. You get the other spell classes pretty easy in this. Except for entropy. It's the one that you have a hard time finding if you don't start with it. So we'll start with it. Next. Let's see, what is our banner going to be? A lot of good ones. A lot I don't really care for either. The moon. Different. Something kind of abstract. I'm not sure about that symbol. Like I know that's fire, frost, lightning. Let's see. So many things to choose from. Let's see. Having kind of a hard choice here. People haven't really gave this much thought. Probably should have. So the eagle actually looks pretty nice there. I'll go with the eagle. Let's see. And then, yeah, red with a black eagle. Do something similar over here on the main character. Maybe that dark green. And red, yeah. That's good. Next name. What should we call him? Need a name, good name. Good strong name. Let's call him can't think of a name. Call him. Let's just call him Kane. I can't think of anything else right now. Next time I do a game like this, I'll have to make sure I have a name sought out. Okay, now then, let's see. Our main skills. Let's see now. As far as attributes go, we have might, like strength, affects our attack and attack strength. Finesse, accuracy, armor deflection, quickness, how fast we can use stuff. And we got wits. Well, we have vitality with its health, which is our spell strength and resolve, which is affects our saving throws, our our defenses against poison and magic and stuff like that. This character would want some finesse. Definitely want some quickness too. Probably quickness a bit higher so we can really use our abilities and spells. And wits and resolve. We'll pull 1 in wit. Yeah, that looks okay maybe? Yeah, that should be fine. Skills. See, we need our dual wielding up. Not gonna pull any magic staff because we won't be using much. Athletics. Well, both of these kind of high. Both of these are used a lot. Parry. Let's find out his subterfuge. We want that kind of high too. And then our control anthropy will go up pretty quickly by itself. So I think that's how we run it. Not very impressive, I guess, starting. He has a good spread here, though. Well, dual wielding, of course. I guess I should go over this stuff. Dual wielding is our weapon skill. Higher that is, the better we'll attack and stuff. And as dual wielding, we'll get a lot of attacks in. Athletics is more of a role-playing thing, and it gives you extra speech options that can be very helpful. Lore, similarly, and you'll see that when you with magic when you create new spells. Parry is your ability to defend against melee attacks and spells. Subterfuge is like your stealth, and that's one thing that the recent RPGs like this have been lacking. At least this and Pillars of Eternia is a reason to play a stealth build, because you really don't need to. You're gonna get that subterfuge up, whatever equivalent up, without needing anything special. Then after that is dodge, which is your ranged defense. Again, kind of low, but this guy should be leveling up pretty fast. Let's go on to next. And we're going to be doing the conquest next.
All the world has fallen to Kairos, and now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. 2 armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior. In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the Tears sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
During the conquest, you decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the Tears, shaping the world through which you will venture over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the Tears respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. So far from what I've played, the decisions you make here can really have big effects, or even minor ones, on what goes on. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the Tears, built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms. The city was a nexus of commerce. To the Tears, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' army. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the Tears. Kairos' will is insurmountable. And now we make a choice of what we do. Let's see. We can infiltrate the Tears, or we can attack the Gates of Judgment. What are options? The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, tempering the opening call of the Conquest of the Tears. The two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Course, brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army which appeals best suited to your strengths. Let's see. How about this one? History remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with the advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. Let's see. Do we want to infiltrate? You rushed with the chaotic mass of the Scarlet Horde, flanked the bastard city's armies, and drove them to flee. Yes. You caught the mercenary army unprepared for the mania and disorder of the Scarlet Course. Your forces overwhelmed the Tyr's defense in a few short hours, hacking and burning their way into the continent. Any mercenaries who survived the battle found themselves initiated into the Scarlet Course, tortured by ruthless interrogators, or made sport of competition as the armies marched ruthlessly forward. Let's see. The soldiers of the Tyr. Well, let's see. We can decide the fate of prisoners, or we can secure provisions. Let's see. Prisoners. Oh, we're on a military campaign. Let's feed everyone. Pillaging the farms might not be a good idea. They'll destroy a lot. But we are evil, so go at it. Only too pleased to follow this particular order, the Scarlet Course divide up the outlying farms and villages amongst their gains and set out to collect provisions. Though they returned with wagons laden with supplies, the terror and destruction sowed in their path boasted morale and ensured that everyone, from the bastard city to Stalwart, knew their name. The armies of Kairos amassed around the bastard city, the first bastion of the Tears to fall. Both armies longed to storm the walled outpost. The Scarlet Course howling for plunder, the Disfavored forming an unbreakable shield wall. Their prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both armies had inspired schemes to take the bastard city. Which do you support? We can do a direct assault upon the gates. Set fire. Or we can sabotage their defenses. This one gets you a special ability. I've played with all of them. This one is just fire spells, and you can get these later on. This one wasn't very satisfied with, so we're going to go with this one. The self-heal. With the heroic courage and legendary determination, the Disfavored battered the gates of the bastard city to splinters. Those who fell under the constant hail of arrows or cascades of boiling pitch left the battlefield temporarily, only to appear hours later as Archon, Grave and Ash's protection healed their numerous wounds. In time, the gates gave way, and Kairos' forces spilled into the city walls with resounding cheers of victory. The bastard city settled into the new state of normalcy, with every tower displaying Kairos' banner. Your name was whispered among the rumors of a decorated career to come. The armies divided into two fronts and migrated south. Two sent word that you were to join the next frontier of Kairos' conquest, either as judge and overseer of the settlement, Theon's Crossing, or as a war advisor with the armies advancing into the realms of Apex. We are a war mage. We're going to the front lines. We're heading to Apex. The mountain nation of Apex, ruled for generations by the queens of House Verdurinian. Vendurin? Something. Stood at the hearts of the tiers. No army could bypass the landlocked realm without leaving their flanks exposed to attack. By the second year of the war, this favored and Scarlet Chorus had pushed deep into the tiers. Elements of both armies were dispatched to conquer Apex. Tunan assigned you to accompany him, tasked with bringing Kairos' law to the territory, as well as keeping an eye on both armies. Let's see. The Battle of Eldurine Pass. The Nihilistic Strength. A school of water mages loyal to the tiersmen posed a substantial threat. The disfavored wished to annihilate the school, while the Scarlet Chorus insisted on capturing the mages, wishing to learn of their craft. Now we're definitely going to capture them. Oh, there's the alarm. We're going to finish Conquest mode, and that'll be the end of the episode, people. So yes. Though countless lives were lost taking the mages into custody, the Scarlet Chorus praised your name as they dragged the beaten elders of the school to the voices of Nerat's tent. As a wave of screams and incoherent pleas reached their crescendo, the Scarlet Chorus soldiers outside cheered for their Archon. The disfavored adjourned to their camps in grim silence, claiming the chorus lacked the will and desire to fully wipe out all traces of the enemy school. Let's see. When Kairos' forces captured a celebrated enemy hero, the armies bickered over his fate. The disfavored wanted him set free to convince his peers of Kairos' mercy. The Scarlet Chorus wanted him to flayed and staked as an example. Oh, as you have can tell all for once, I am going with the Scarlet Chorus. So, yeah. Against the better wishes of tradition, mercy, or even good taste, you had the enemy captain drawn and quartered by a team of enthusiastic Scarlet Chorus butchers. Once the prisoner was disassembled, the butchers took great pleasure in reassembling his parts with stitching, cloth, and wooden poles, fashioning a crude totem of this order. They mounted him on a hillside, where the warning of the grim spectacle haunted all who passed. The Scarlet Chorus nominated you to negotiate with the realm of Apex representatives and convince them to surrender, trusting you to explain their inevitable defeat in terms they would understand. How do you orchestrate the surrender of the enemy? Let's see, we can taunt the queen into striking me under the battle of truce, so I can slay her in an honor duel, or I can actually negotiate. Well, she is an enemy leader. She has ruled before. We can't really trust her now, can we? The Scarlet Chorus urged you to show the Overlord's strength by any means necessary. Doing peace talks at well placed and saw goaded the Queen of Apex into striking you. You responded to the slight by challenging her to a duel. Though the Queen was skilled in battle, your field experience outmatched her court training. As her body lay clinging to the ground, you demanded that her followers kneel before the Overlord's banner. Unable to rise above the fear of the moment, their remaining leaders capitulated, surrendering the valley to Kairos' forces. Oh, so evil. The land of Apex finally rests in the hands of Kairos' forces. The Scarlet Chorus paused to revel in victory while the disfavored prepared for the next fight, affording themselves but an evening's rest. Kairos' armies radiated out from the conquered citadel and worked their way across the tiers. The disfavored and Scarlet Chorus aimed to dominate as much territory as possible in the coming years. Your distinguished reputation in Kairos' military left the choice of your next destination yours to make. And go to the volume Citadel. Stalwart. Browse here. Stalwart is the one with the military. So that's where we're going. Gotta fight the good fight. The realm of Stalwart was best known for its proud army, disciplined, courageous, and undefeated on their home soil. Skilled and resolve made Stalwart a military power that Kyrus' forces approached with due caution. With its southern position, Stalwart has been largely safe from war, watching 2 years as its neighbors fell to Kyrus' forces. On the dawn of the third year, Kyrus' armies were finally poised to invade Stalwart's peninsula and subdue the tier's most vaunted army. So we can deal with supply lines. Or deal with a setback. After a defeat at the hands of enemy defenders, the Carless Corps accused this fared of recklessness. Let's deal with the supply lines. The Stalwart defenders burned their crops as they retreated, leaving the invaders little to forage. Starving, the Scarlet Corps mob raided from the disfavored's well-maintained supply lines, incurring casualties on both sides. Scarlet Corps commanders argued that the Horde was starving. Being the largest of Kyrus' army, they were also the least provisioned. The men were wrong to steal, but the disfavored were equally wrong to withhold supplies from their allies. You agreed with the Kyrus' version of the events and ordered that the disfavored supplies be shared. The thieves themselves would be punished with the loss of a hand and returned to the front lines. The disfavored found this a sickening aberration of justice and surrendered their supplies with grudging acceptance. Peace. Better dead than red. Peace. Scarlet Corps mages discovered a spell to turn beastmen slaves against their handlers. The armies prepared to deploy this tactic elsewhere, but the disfavored protested the use of unsanctioned magical practices ran contrary to Kyros's law. And beastmen were considered too erratic to be relied upon, even as shock troops. The disfavored lambasted you for authorizing such a risky tactic. Kyrus' armies always relied on beastmen haulers, and the disfavored argued such magic would inevitably unravel supply lines, and logistics. The Corps, on the other hand, were emboldened by the decree and considered you an honorable partner of arcane inquiry. Though the Scarlet Crusade struggled to maintain a presence in Stalwart, this magic for enraging beastmen slaves was used to bloody effect throughout the countryside. The disfavored carved a slow, steady path into the heart of Stalwart, and surrounding the enemy's massive fortress, where the main bulk of their forces defended, the enemy leadership retreated to their mighty fortress, content to wait out the war. The Overlord answered this impotence with an Edict of Storms on the peninsula, a devastating spell that would endure for as long as the cowardly hearts of Stalwart's leaders persisted in beating. Known before anyone else that the edict would occur, the voices in Arad lobbied for you to deliver the mighty incarnation. Aside from being given a 3-day window to read the edict, you received no further instructions. They had their chance to surrender. You agreed with the disfavored rationale. The leaders of Stalwart had refused honorable battle, and too many disfavored lives were lost in the campaign. Since the last regent refused to leave the keep, you would let him watch as his people suffered. Without hesitation or regret, you broke the seal on Kyrus' Edict of Storms and read the Overlord's incantation. The clear skies darkened as you read the final words of the edict. A flurry of wind and rain whipped through the rolling plains and craggy canyons, turning rocks, uprooting trees, and helpless soldiers into hazardous shrapnel. Armed with a measure of foresight, you were able to remove yourself from the area before the storms grew more violent. Over time, nearby communities told of cyclones consisting of thousands of soldiers' worth of limbs, spears, armor, and skulls. What's more, the weather showed no signs of dissipating. Several units of disfavored who fought the enemy in spite of the immense storm were caught up in the Overlord's magic. The few survivors regrouped to nurse their wounds. Their failure to topple the Stalwart's legion shamed them into believing the dead more fortunate. The name Stalwart fell from use. People took to calling it the Blade Grave, for the remade landscape festooned with the iron and bronze armaments of two once great legions. As Skyros forces departed, you spared a glance back at the ruins of Stalwart, marveling at your work. Didn't have long to rest before Tunon called on your services once more. And there's our conquest. Yeah, we're gonna go and live with that. Live with our choices. Oh, as you can all tell, this is gonna be quite the bloodthirsty campaign. We're going to be siding with the Scarlet Course. I think be a bit different. I already played allying with the disfavored in my single player game, so be nice to see how it changes the game being on the other side.
The year is 431, and Kairos' invasion has shattered all major opposition in the tiers. The Younger Realms, the Bastard Tier, the Free Cities. All who defied Kairos lay broken by battle, or bowed in surrender. The two armies of the Overlord, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, now control our lands. But our will is not yet extinguished. Not entirely. In the Valley of Vendrian's Well, those of us unwilling to bow to Kairos have banded together in defiance. Violating an oath of surrender from 2 years prior, we have staged a bloody uprising, murdering the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus garrison in a midnight assault. With their main forces spread across the tiers, the Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus redeploy to Vendrian's Well to crush the resistance. But months pass with no definitive battle. As disagreement and discord paralyze the Archons, we bide our time and wait for our message of insurrection to spread across the tiers. The Overlord is not amused, and Kairos has one message for the Archons: crush the Oathbreakers or die. Kairos backs this threat with an edict, a magical commandment that can slay all in the valley should the order be ignored. The honor of proclaiming this edict fell to you. Sent across the mountains to Vendrian's Well, you carry the Overlord's edict to read before the Archons. As you finally make your way through the winding mountain passes into the valley, the ground trembles, and Kairos' magic seals the way behind you. You are trapped in Vendrian's Well, with Kairos' armies and the Oathbreakers. The only way to survive is to fulfill the terms of the Overlord's edict, in any way that you can.
And now we're back. Now we're into the real game. Well, people, gonna have to call it there. As I said, thank you all for joining me for my first episode of my first series on my channel. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you like the way I'm going. Sorry if I come up a bit bloodthirsty in this, but you know, we're evil. If you're gonna be evil, you might as well have some fun with it. But thank you all very much. I hope to see you all the next time. Bye.